Let's get to our OHL out-of-town scoreboard. Some games were close this evening in the Hockey League. Some of them were not. And in London, it wasn't that close. London wins 4-0 on home ice over the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. They snapped the Greyhounds' 4-game winning streak. This was a back-and-forth game all evening. Plymouth ends up winning 4-3 on the road against Niagara. Maselli with the game-winning goal, just a couple minutes left in the third period to secure the victory. Belleville on North Bay, another team put up 8, and it was the North Bay Battalion this evening as they defeat the Belleville Bulls 8-1. Kingston and Peterborough. This was the other back-and-forth game. Ikonen tied the game for Kingston with 10 seconds left in the third period on the power play to force overtime. Peterborough prevails 5-4. They pick up 2 big points. In the final game this evening, Owen Sound at Barrie. Owen Sound was in command of this game. They were winning 4-2. Barrie has tied the game up at 4 in the third period. Aaron Ekblad, defenseman for the Barrie Colts. He's got 1 goal. He's got 22 on the season, and he's also got a helper in that game for the Barrie Colts. Our next telecast here on TV Coach Go will come your way this Sunday. It'll take place from the WFCU Center. Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds taking on the Windsor Spitfires. Game time is set for 2 o'clock on Channel 11.
The great thing about the Windsor Spitfires in this 4-game winning streak is they're getting a lot of offensive production. 21 goals in the past 4 games. Here it's real simple. It's a play that goes from the point from Diodati. Kirby Reichel knows where to go. In front of the net, he gets a stick on it. 1-0 early for the Windsor Spitfires. An area they've had trouble this season, Chris, with the exception of the past 4 games, is getting out to early leads. For the most part, they've given up goals. This is a big start for the Windsor Spitfires, getting a goal only a minute into this game. Go back to the 6th goal now, and as I was explaining with Joshua Hosang, it really started with him and the effort he put on that whole entire shift. Here's Hosang that picks up a rebound. He's working hard with the puck. This is where his confidence comes into play. We know how skillful he is, but look how hard he's working now. It looks like everything's starting to come together for Joshua Hosang. He's got the skill level. The compete level appears to be there. He works his tail off at center ice, gets the puck back in, and here he is now picking it up and feeding Gafopoulos in front, who makes no mistake about it. Your celebration was really big. You really enjoyed that goal. At the end of the game, I believe it was Trevor Murphy that went and gave Kuchme a big hug. Just how big is this win for this team from a confidence point of view? Absolutely. It's our 6th in a row. We came in Thursday and played a solid game against Kingston, and Kuch has been standing on his head for us, and we definitely won it for Kuch there. He's been phenomenal for us, and Murph definitely gave him a high five there just because of that. On a roll with 6 in a row. Ben, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the win. Thank you. The game's first star, he had the game winner, is Ben Johnson from the Windsor Spitfires. They scored 3 unanswered in that third period. Down by 1 going to the third. They knew they needed offense, and they stuck to their game plan, and it paid off huge. Let's take a look at our third period scoring summary from tonight's game. Pavel Rosniak tied things up with his 13th of the season at 12-17. Assists from Murphy and Yaskov, who was all over the ice tonight. Then Ben Johnson puts the Spitfires up 2-1, his 19th of the year at 16:32. Slater Kuku, who probably didn't come off the ice in that third period, gets a helper there. And then Trevor Murphy seals it with an empty netter at 19:48, his 6th of the year, and the celebration was on at that point. Windsor outshoots Guelph 36-27, and Guelph came into this game with 234 goals for, tops in the Ontario Hockey League, 3 more than the Erie Otters, and the Spitfires shut them down. Let's bring in Chris McLeod and Todd Warner and get their thoughts on tonight's game. Meanwhile, for the Kitchener Rangers, they're still trying to make the playoffs. They're 5 points out. They trail the Plymouth Whalers, who had a big win last night against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. They won 5-1, so Kitchener is playing catch-up, but they've done well in their past 5 games. They're 4-0-1. And a lot of it has to do with the youth on this team. They got about 5 or 6 guys that are going to be eligible for this year's NHL entry draft. At the top of that list is Ryan McInnes, who's playing his first year in the Ontario Hockey League. Troy Smith talked about McInnes' play so far this season.
Ryan's an extremely intelligent player, and I would say that he's almost too smart not to make that next step down the road. And he's a character kid that's been a leader on our hockey club, in a tough position, especially being a first-year player in this league.
And after an injury-plagued season last year, it seems like Slater's finally starting to really enjoy himself as a member of the Windsor Spitfires. As for the London Knights, if there's a player in this league that's going to play the rest of the season with a chip on his shoulder, it's probably Max Domi, considering the fact he was left off of the Team Canada preliminary roster for this year's World Juniors Championships. He's our player to watch. On the year in just 22 games, he's got 25 points, 9 goals, 16 assists, but in his last 4 games, he's been held pointless. That hasn't happened to Max Domi since he first entered the league.
in his first season, and it happened in the playoffs. So this is rare for Max Domi. If he needs a breakout game, it probably has to happen tonight against the Windsor Spitfires, a team that the London Knights have had success against.